You look at what the Democrats have done to San Francisco. They've destroyed it. I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in San Francisco. And, you know, it's just different. We can clean that up, too. We'll clean that one up, too.
After President Trump took aim at San Francisco, California Governor Gavin Newsom deployed a surge of crime-fighting teams to the Bay Area. He insists his strategy is different from the president's.
We're not reacting or responding to anything, quite the contrary, with one caveat. The community wants to see more, and we are trying to be responsive to the people we serve. As it relates to the president in particular, he's doing things to people, not with people. It's a point of profound and consequential contrast. He's de facto militarizing American cities.
Let's bring in Richie Greenberg, San Francisco political commentator and activist. Richie, welcome.
Thanks for having me today, Mike.
I want to start with putting up the official crime statistics for San Francisco so far this year compared to last year. It suggests the city is actually improving. The murder rate is down, violent crimes down 18.2%, property crimes down 28.4%. Question, do you feel that? Do you feel safer in your city?
Well, yes and no, and thank you for asking. You know, here in the city, we do see some improvement. We do notice that many of the streets seem to be cleaner. They seem to be safer. We don't get those daily reports of the car break-ins, the smash and grabs. But there are a couple of factors that are dealing with and addressing the overall change. First of all, many of the crimes still are unreported, and that is very frustrating to everybody, including City Hall. Secondly, many of the storefronts and two large malls, our major Market Street malls, have pretty much shuttered. So we don't have those mass looting events and other kind of ancillary cafes and shops that are being hit because they're just closed. They're not there anymore. So yes, some crime is down, but what we really need to focus on is how the fentanyl drug disaster, we have a humanitarian disaster that is just a stone's throw away from City Hall. That is alive and well, that is 24-hour market, drug markets, and that is being operated by drug cartels, Chinese supplies, and Mexican cartels manufacturing and bringing it in. And that's the big problem, is the fentanyl and other drug opioid disaster. We have people dying 2 or 3 every day. We've got thousands, 3,000 or 4,000 have died since 2020 on the streets here.
We started with the back and forth between President Trump and Governor Gavin Newsom. Does Gavin Newsom's actions on crime reflect his desire to be our next president?
Well, it's a very interesting conundrum for him because he has been the not only the governor of California, but he was also lieutenant governor. He was mayor of San Francisco. He was also on the city council, our board of supervisors here in San Francisco as well. So for many, many years, he has discussed all these plans, all of his ideas, all of this propaganda and rhetoric at this time. And he is very similar to other City Hall members of City Hall, including our mayor, our new mayor, Mayor Lurie here, who are repeating and repeating the situation that only they seem to be the ones who are qualified and able to rectify the situation. And we know that that is not true. We know it can't be possible because it just keeps perpetuating. And we have a almost $16 billion budget here in the city of San Francisco, which is insane for only 800,000 residents here. And a lot of that money is being wasted every year on these useless, non-productive programs that are dealing with homelessness and drug addiction.
There are questions about how these liberal cities are dealing with ICE coming in and whether the local police are cooperating. The San Francisco PD putting out some instructions saying the interim police chief instructed his officers to neither help nor hinder U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents as they make immigration arrests, and only take action when necessary to safeguard life and property. This may include rendering aid, responding to criminal activity, continuous observation and reassessment, maintaining a perimeter, directing traffic, de-escalating conflict, or communicating with the public. What do you make of that, Richie?
Well, I actually see it as being fairly encouraging because we've seen rhetoric out of other cities and other states, such as in Washington, D.C. originally, and then in Chicago now, that they are pushing back very hard and they are demanding that there's no cooperation at all. There's nothing at all. You can't communicate, nothing. And it's a tightrope here. We've got Mayor Lurie here, who is trying not to be extremely publicly defiant against ICE. And we are hoping, myself included, that there is some back channel communication with ICE, with the feds, to come in and do what they need to help with getting these criminal illegal aliens, the ones mostly that are dealing with the drug dealing and the fentanyl distribution, get them off the streets immediately.
Richie Greenberg, it's great to have you. Thanks very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.